Hello everyone, my name is Lucas and welcome to Robot Fight Club, and this is the long-awaited part 2 of the build video on my walking antweight BattleBot. Let's get into it.
Robot Fight Club.
Okay, so first of all, really sorry about the huge wait on the second build video. The first build video where I built the drive system was released like a long time ago, like 2 or 3 months ago, maybe more. I'm not really sure at this point, but it's been a while and several of you have commented about it, waiting for the second part to come out, and I'm really sorry. I just wasn't really doing any work on it, but I did do a ton of work on it, and here we go. As you can see, this is a fully functioning robot, and if you've been following the channel, you've probably seen some of the fights this participated in my garage BattleBot competition. And basically what I did is just rebuilt this over like a period of a week before I did that in order to get ready to fight then. So I didn't really have a ton of time to make a video, so there's no video, but I have the full robot right here. However, there is some stuff that needs to be changed and improved on this robot. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and we're going to reverse engineer this, take it apart, and I'll show you what I did, and then we'll put it back together. So it'll be kind of a cool in-depth breakdown, I think, and hopefully improve this thing and make it better and able to stand up to actual competition-grade robots. Alright, so I know there's a ton of stuff that got changed on this robot since you guys have last seen it. I haven't really shown this on the channel too much, but the previous version of Pronghorn looked like this picture right here. So it's changed quite a bit, but I will go into all of that when we start the reassembly and during the disassembly as well. So anyways, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and start disassembling the robot. Let's get into it. Alright guys, so I'm going to start the disassembly process. Starting with the legs, I'm going to take off the gearbox and all these mounting points, so just the entire shuffling system will come off. Again, if you want to see more about that, there's a separate video and link to that is in the description. I'm going to take off the electronics cover and the rear plow so we can basically get down to the main frame of the robot and the drum mount, which is mainly what I want to talk about before we start the rebuild process. And again, we'll catch a lot of this stuff on the flip side when we reassemble it. Anyways, let's get into it. Okay, so here's the drum mount, and all this really is a hub motor mounted in this drum and then an axle coming through and supported on the other side. The axle, this is a 4mm titanium axle, so that just goes into the drum. And then going right here is the motor side of the hub. I'll just take that apart. This is the drum spinner, and I do want to change some stuff on this. I want to mount it a little bit higher and put on some bigger teeth. Probably the fillet head screws, because those will get a lot better grip on stuff, so I'll be able to get better bite and hopefully do more damage. So I'm going to change the drum up a little bit. And then all this is the motor, which is just, this is a cheap brushless motor I bought on Amazon for like 10 bucks. With a speed controller. The speed controller was crap, so I had to buy a different one, but I have the motor, and it's attached to this aluminum mount that came with it, and then that mount is supported by 4 machine screws. Goes through this HDPE piece right here, and then attaches to the 2 mounts which go onto the base plate. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to have to make a new base plate, and this one did crack the HDPE is just not thick enough, and the design's a little bit off in some ways, so I'm going to remake it and with thicker HDPE. And something I want to do also is, as you can see, this one has a ton of holes in it. I kind of want to, for the sake of structural integrity, I want to cut down the amount of holes I have in the base plate. Okay guys, so I have the base plate finished and I have the gearbox mounted right now, which, if you guys want to know what this is the Tamiya double gearbox, and have the crankshafts on, and then I 3D printed the bracket mount for the rear legs. So this is all covered in the drive episode, but I upgraded it a little bit in this, and I'm going to upgrade it in this video. So what I did here was kind of a mount that holds both rear leg brackets, which only needs 2 screws. That'll increase the strength of the overall base plate and hopefully save a little bit of weight with those screws, although it's really nothing major. And the way I did it was, you can see on this one, the bracket actually fits underneath of the piece, and then it goes on like that. That way it allows the bracket to sit flat with the actual base plate. And then I have the new weapon mounts, which I have printed. These are a slightly upgraded design from the one you saw fight on the channel a little bit ago, and this is just an upgraded version of that. Alright, so I got the weapon mount set up, and as you can see, that's the bracket for the front left leg there, which just fits really nicely under the rest of the weapon mount. And then this brushless motor is mounted right onto there through, this is an included aluminum mount right under there, and that just bolts through the mount like that. Okay, I'll give you guys another update here. So I 3D printed a new hub. This one is printed at 40% infill, which should be more than enough. Hold on. So here's the old one, and this actually cracked. There was a big failure. One of the bolts came out because I didn't have them epoxied in, and that caused a lot of stress, and it actually cracked this and the PVC outer ring. I don't think that would happen normally without these bolts coming out, so I'm not too worried, but I still wanted to reinforce it a little bit more. And I press fit very tightly and epoxied in this titanium 4mm shaft into here. So how this works is the can of the spinner, and that fits very tightly on there, just like that. And then this goes right on like that, and then that gets bolted on. And there's the part I was 3D printing for the other side. Slides on just like that, and that bolts in as well. And there is the mounting point for the final leg. This is the jig for the outer ring, and this allows me to put this in here, and that allows me to not only cut the pipe for the right size, but also drill the holes for the screws to go in. Okay guys, so I have the machine screws inserted into the drum, and it looks very deadly at this point. So I have high hopes for what this drum will be able to do, and hopefully those new teeth will work out for it. Okay guys, so I have pretty much everything done here. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and assemble it, see how it turned out, and then if I need to make any more changes, I can go from there. So anyways, let's get into the assembly. Okay guys, so here's the robot all put together in, I guess, the mechanical sense. None of the electronics are in right now, but if I dropped in those electronics, it would be ready to go. Alright guys, quick little update. I've been working on the rear wedge a little bit and I wanted to get it better supported, so I added these aluminum brackets and they go down and they go into the wedge like that with these bolts. So now it's actually rubber shock mounted. That's going to be the strategy if I have to go against a horizontal, because it's just too dangerous going at them with the drum with those front legs exposed. So the plow is going to be big. And I probably already mentioned this, but I'm also going to be making some other attachments back here. Probably just some wedgelets, maybe another like articulating wedge or something back here, but some different attachments so I can swap this out if I'm fighting a different type of robot. Okay guys, so I have everything more or less hooked up, so it's ready to go. It turns on and everything is functional. I don't think I showed this yet, but I did design a new battery case. So I have a 2-cell 450 milliamp LiPo battery in this case, and works out pretty good. I might have already said this, but there's only 10 holes in total in this base plate, and I'm really happy with how the new 3D printing has turned out, how the robot's looking, and I think this design is going to be pretty successful and work really well. Other than that, all that's really left to do is test it, so I'm going to go ahead and run a few tests before I go any further. So let's get into that. Okay guys, and with that, the robot is pretty much functionally completed. Everything is working as it should. I'm pretty happy with the new upgrades, how they turned out, the 3D printed stuff. There's a few small changes that I'd like to make still. Upgrading the linkages, upgrading the legs, and a few other small things. And of course, cleaning up the electronics, making this more neat, and I'm going to paint it as well. But I do want to get this video out now, because it might take me a while to make those changes. So I'm going to get this video out now, and there will be a third video on the way for the rest of the stuff that I'm going to be doing to the robot. So make sure to stick around and subscribe for that one. A very small percentage of my viewers are actually subscribed to the channel. So if that's you, make sure to please subscribe. That helps me out a lot. Also, I started a Discord server, so if you want to join that, feel free. Link is in the description. You can ask me questions or just discuss combat robotics. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time on Robot Fight Club.